welcome to the Opta quiz. If you're a first-time listener or if you're a returnee, welcome back. Coming up for you soon are 10 tricky teasers to test your football knowledge, but firstly we need to give you the answer to the bonus question from the last episode, which was, how many days were Arsenal top of the Premier League table this season? Thanks to all of you who let us know your guesses on social media, on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram and Facebook, where we are at Opta Analyst across the board, and if you haven't already, do give us a little follow on there as well. The correct answer was of course 248 days, which is the most days that a team has led an English top flight season without going on to win the title. Congratulations if you got that one right, but it's time to turn our focus to this edition of the Opta quiz, which is going to be all about the UEFA Champions League. Congratulations of course to Manchester City for completing their historic treble with success against Inter, but will you be celebrating too? 10 questions are ready and waiting for you, so take a deep breath, let's get ready to go. We'll start off with question 1 and hopefully something that will ease you in. Who was the leading goal scorer in this season's UEFA Champions League? Who was the leading goal scorer in this season's UEFA Champions League? Question 2 is going to be along a similar theme. Who is the all-time leading goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League? Who is the all-time leading goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League? And we'll even give you a little clue here. He's netted 140 goals in the competition. Okay, a different style of question for you with question 3. It's something that we like to call a sequence. What you need to do is let us know which team comes next in the following sequence: Manchester City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, blank. So we just need to know which team completes the sequence of Manchester City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, blank. Let's look back at the 2022-2023 final for the next 2 questions. After all, it should be fresh in your memory. Question 4 is all about the match winner. Rodri became the latest Spaniard to score in a European Cup or UEFA Champions League final, but how many Spanish players have scored in the showpiece? Rodri became the latest Spaniard to score in a European Cup or UEFA Champions League final, but how many Spanish players have scored in the showpiece? And question 5, City's win was the 300th of Pep Guardiola's reign, but how many games did it take for him to reach that milestone? And we'll give you 3 options here. Was it 413, 493 or 515? How many games did it take for Pep Guardiola to reach 300 wins in charge of Manchester City? Was it 413, 493 or 515? 5 down, the answer for which will be along soon, but we've got 5 to go, starting off with question 6 and the return of our sound clue. All we need to know here is who is this Champions League final goal-scoring hero?
Beckham into Sheringham and he's won it!
So who is that Champions League final goal-scoring hero? Question 7 is another one of the sequences for you. We just need you to name the player that completes this sequence. Erling Haaland, Karim Benzema, Erling Haaland, Robert Lewandowski, who? So name the player that completes this sequence. Erling Haaland, Karim Benzema, Erling Haaland, Robert Lewandowski, who? We may have just mentioned him, but for question number 8, what record did Robert Lewandowski break in the first round of group stage matches this season? What record did Robert Lewandowski break in the first round of group stage matches this season? We're going to go back to the sound clues for question number 9 and one of the most famous moments in a UEFA Champions League final. But what year did it take place?
Mr. Chelsea, who has felt the pain of the semi-final defeats in the Champions League for Chelsea, has the chance to win the Champions League for Chelsea. And it's a chance that has passed him by.
What year did that famous UEFA Champions League final take place? And finally, question number 10, where we return to Manchester City's success. What did Pep Guardiola become the 5th manager to do in Champions League history? What did Pep Guardiola become the 5th manager to do in Champions League history? Great stuff then, hope that went well for you. With the latest 10 Opta quiz questions now done and dusted, we'll have the answers coming up for you soon, but don't forget you can rewind and go back to hear them one more time if you want to. Don't forget as well, we'd love for you to follow us across our social media accounts. We are at Opta Analyst on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, and we'd love to hear about how you got on as well. But without much further waiting, here come the answers. Right then, question 1 should have been nice and straightforward for you, as we asked who was the leading goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League this season, and of course it is Erling Braut Haaland. However, the Norwegian didn't score in any of his final 3 appearances in the competition this season, his longest ever run of games in the competition without a goal. I guess he'll just have to make do with the 12 he netted earlier in the season. Question 2 saw us ask you who is the all-time leading goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League. He found the back of the net on 140 different occasions. Cristiano Ronaldo, the right answer there, with who else but Lionel Messi, his nearest competitor, at 129. The first of our sequences came up in question number 3. I gave you Manchester City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and just wanted to know who's next. Well, they are of course, in reverse order, the last 5 winners of the UEFA Champions League. So we were looking for the 2018 winners, and that was Real Madrid, the last of their 3 successive titles on the spin. The next 2 questions were all about this season's final. Question 4 reflected that Rodri became the latest Spaniard to score in a European Cup or UEFA Champions League final, and he is the 19th different Spanish player to score in the showpiece, but only the 2nd to do so for an English side, after Xabi Alonso for Liverpool in 2005, which also took place in Istanbul. Question 5, and the win was Pep Guardiola's 300th in charge of Manchester City, and it took just 413 games to hit that milestone, surpassing the previous record in the English top flight, which was set by Jose Mourinho with 493 games, and the 515 we also gave you in the clue, well, that's how long it took both Arsene Wenger and Bob Paisley to achieve the feat. Question 6 was the first of our sound clues, and we'll play it again for you now, but this time without the UEFA Champions League goal-scoring finalists' name blanked.
Beckham into Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it!
Who else but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the answer we were looking for there. The heartbreaking scenes at the end of the game at the Camp Nou, stunning even the then UEFA president Lennart Johansson, who missed both of those goals making his way pitchside, leaving him to famously remark, "I can't believe it, the winners are crying and the losers are dancing." Question 7 was another sequence for you. We gave you Erling Haaland, Karim Benzema, Erling Haaland and Robert Lewandowski, and they are of course the top scorers for the past 4 seasons, so we were looking for the top goal scorer in the 2018-2019 season, and that man was making his own headlines over the past week following his move to Inter Miami, Lionel Messi, when he netted 12 for his 6th and final Golden Boot in the competition. Question 8 was about another goal scorer in Robert Lewandowski, and the record he set on match day 1 this season was becoming the first player to score a hat-trick for 3 different teams in the competition, having achieved the feat once for Borussia Dortmund, 4 times for Bayern Munich, and of course this season for Barcelona. It was another sound clue for you in question 9. It was the famous John Terry penalty miss for Chelsea in the 2008 final against Manchester United. There were obviously no penalties this time out in Istanbul, but it was the 4th successive final to have been won by a 1-0 scoreline, which is more than in the first 27 finals in the competition since it was rebranded to the Champions League in 1992. And finally, Pep Guardiola, the man of the moment, was the subject of question 10, as he became the 5th manager to win the Champions League with 2 different clubs. He follows in the footsteps of Carlo Ancelotti, who did it for AC Milan and Real Madrid, Jose Mourinho, who did it for Porto and Inter, Jupp Heynckes did it for Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, and Ottmar Hitzfeld, he did it for Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich. So that's it for this episode of the Opta Quiz. Thank you once again very much for taking part, and please do let us know how you got on by dropping us a message on social media. We are at Opta Analyst on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok and Instagram, or of course you can just email us editors@theanalyst.com, where you can also answer our bonus question just for fun, which is how many English teams have now won the European Cup or UEFA Champions League? How many teams have now won the European Cup or UEFA Champions League? Again, let us know your score and the answer to that question on social media or via email, and don't forget to check out all the other great articles we've got for you on the Analyst.com. Plenty of stories and facts to keep you interested over the off season. But once again, thanks for playing the Opta Quiz, and we'll catch you again soon.